Go for it, David.
Okay. Bryan Sentes is a proper name. The patronymic, a solecism for the Hungarian Centes. Sentes. I knew I was going to screw that up. From Latin, sanctus, sacred or holy. The given name from Welsh bran, raven or crow. Googled Bryan Sentes can return over 10,000 hits, some of which refer to the author of Grand Gnostic Central and Ladonian Magnitudes. Everyone, please welcome Bryan Sentes.
We just adjust the mic here. Am I about the right? Not too close. Not too far away. Just right? Just right? Just right. Okay. We'll stay right here. I figured since we're all trapped in Montreal in late July, we'll go on a holiday. Although there are worse places to be than Montreal in late July. First stop, Hungary. First time I went overseas. I went to Hungary, which was very special for me because my father's people are Hungarian. Ended up in Budapest, composed of two cities, Buda and Pest. Pest is the newer place. There's a pedestrian zone called Váci utca, Váci Street, at the end of which is a square called Vörösmarty tér, on which you will find a cafe, world-famous cafe, called Zserbo. At the time, and I think it's still the case, they used forint rather than euros, and the smallest coin was called a filer. So this is a little poem about Váci utca. On Váci utca, mongrel pigeons, flapping, mount American-style shop-front windows. Gray cops in pairs or trios patrol. Country people bag handiwork, whistling. At the end of Vörösmarty tér, a blind man begs filets at tables in Zserbo. A blonde father yells no at a gypsy girl and daughter. Behind me, a woman asks for directions. Bocsánat, nem magyar. Nem magyar. The punchline is, pardon me, bocsánat, I'm not Hungarian. Nem magyar. Nem magyar? You're not Hungarian. The more you travel, the more great experiences you have, and the more terrible experiences you have. This is a little poem about the terrible experiences. 2 footnotes. All my poems need footnotes. There's a reference to a very famous statue. It's a she-wolf suckling 2 little infants, Romulus and Remus, who were founders of Rome. Very famous statue. And there's a reference to Theseus, a figure from classical mythology, who with Ariadne worked his way through the labyrinth and killed the Minotaur at the center. It's called European Decadence in Medias Res. They're cutting the gelato in Sirmione with pure azure lake water. In Siena City Hall, 2 old pigeons, hunched on the bitch wolf's back, trickle lime down to her teats, suckled by the twins. In the old city, they serve una vera grappa senese I've always passed over at the SIQ. In Ottendorf, the Matjes Dutch sushi raw herring is swimming in salmonella. In Charles de Gaulle, Theseus, a clochard, begs our last cents. If we miss our connection, I'll strangle somebody, I said when we finally found our flight home and remembered I'd said it arriving. Air France déjeuner, croissant and eau de source. Happily, not all trips overseas are so bad. Next stop, Germany. One thing I found out reading from The Economist lately was that what we call the Schichthook was invented in Germany, where they call it the Gemüse Kebab. Wait, I'm being corrected.
Döner kebab.
Döner Kebab. I'm sorry, here it's a Gemüse Kebab. You'll find a very famous chain in Berlin where they invented this food. Couple German words. Straße is a street. U-Bahn is a metro. Schloss is a castle. And the Starnberger See is where all the rich people live. In Berlin, at the Mehringdamm U-Bahn station, the line from Mustafa's Gemüse Kebab always begins beside the crowded counters of the Curry 36 down the block, same as the other 9 locations, doubtless earning Mustafa a retirement schloss on the Starnberger See. In Hamburg, where Bahrenfelder Straße begins, the Masala Indische Imbiss serves at most 12 fine Ayurvedic cuisine. The Nagpals, father, mother, and 2 sons, prepare from strictly local organic ingredients, earning them only their own good karma and what humble renown these verses might win. Every 4 years or so, I think it is, there's a big art show called Documenta. We were there for Documenta 13, able to meet some friends of ours there. It was really sweet, good friends. And they told me something that a cabbie told them. So cabbie on Documenta 13. They call it art. I'd rather get drunk in a bar. Now, this wouldn't be a Montreal poetry reading if we didn't slag Toronto a little bit. So I've got a little sequence poems here called Toronto Suite, referring to a little visit we had there back in 2018. 3 minutes. In the Royal York's Library Bar, next table, their tired scholar and wife with 2 old friends in from New York discussing Trump quotes Yeats. What rough beast. In our hotel room, the front page of the complimentary copy of the National Post features a full-page color ad for Mizrahi Development's luxury condo tower project. A column by Lord Conrad Black. We will find out soon enough if climate is changing. While in another, Rex Murphy sings backup with Thesaurus. Literary life in the capital. Sunday afternoon, the poet critic, editor of the previous canon redefining anthology, hosts the launch of this year's in the library, where he conducts a polite public conversation with its editor. This is a very philosophical poem. Toronto Spring 2018 Getaway Takeaways. You can't have the same Royal York Library Bar all-Canadian beef burger twice. Bunner's Bake Shop vegan gluten-free cinnamon buns don't travel well. Time and space. Had a nice chance to get away just recently to Saint-Adèle, where there's a little river, Rivière au Mullet, which I translate as Mullet River. Go figure. Nice to sit there, think about how we think about nature. I think a lot of us are thinking a lot about how we think about nature, how we think about ourselves in relation to nature, and so on. So this is a little more philosophical, but hopefully not without some pleasure. So it's called By Mullet River. Sitting noon on a big stone stream side, hard to sit on. Thoughts like waters, white noise over rocks. Upstream, rust chipmunk scampers up a log. Across glints a loose, long web thread. A breeze strums, stirred by the broken current. Neither a god, nor a deity's abode, nor living creature, however restless, nor a person, as maple, chipmunk, or spider might imaginably be, nor mere element, one with its Tao. Easy this way, to let things be themselves, the mind open to fill with something other than what windows or margins frame. Easy for a two-night guest of the Auberge and Nordic Spa Beau Rêve, just up the short, well-kept path, a lucky refugee from the city's heat, to think the stream free of thoughts about it. In a hammock on the riverside path, surrounded by the sounds of nature and the rushing, majestic river with its natural whirlpools. Neither, like language, like air, ripples pools, nor a stream of speech over stone. Novice, sit close beside the head, attend the songmaker, intent, the water in the wordless murmur. That punchline would have made a lot more sense if I'd given you the footnote. There's a beautiful tradition of songmaking from the Kwakiutl in British Columbia. Three people are involved. One is the songmaker, the other is the word man, and the third is the apprentice. And they'll all sit beside a body of running water. And the songmaker will pick up a rhythm and begin to murmur or hum a wordless tune. The word maker will find a word that catches the tune, and together they'll make a song. So, we're not always where we want to be. One place I'd like to be tonight is Winnipeg, where a friend of mine is launching a book. His book is a very interesting book. It's called The UFO People. It's kind of a sociology, cultural critique, but very highly readable study of people who see UFOs, who investigate UFOs, who write about such things. And so I want to dedicate this next poem to him. It's a poem about the first sighting of UFOs that led to the coining of the name flying saucers. It is understandably called Flying Saucers. Tuesday, 3 in the afternoon, the 24th of June, 1947. Kenneth Arnold of Boise, rescue pilot, businessman, deputy sheriff and federal marshal, U.S. Forest Serviceman. At 9,000 feet, crystal clear conditions, alone in his call air between Kahalis and Yakima. An hour's detour searching for a lost transport. Out of the blue, a flash, like just before a mid-air crash, made him look left, north of Mount Rainier, to see at 90 degrees, 9 seeming jet planes in a V pointed south. The echelon vaguely bobbing and weaving, flashing reflections 24 miles off. Against Rainier's snows tailless, flying the nearly 40 miles between Mounts Rainier and Adams, 3 times the speed of sound. The first crossed the ridge, bridging the mountains, as the last came over its north crest, 5 miles back. 9 crescents needing to be half a mile long to be seen, flying that fast, that far away. So smooth, mirroring sunlight, like speedboats on rough water, wavering in formation, like the tail of a Chinese kite, wings tipping, flashing blue-white, each like a saucer skipped over water. So I'm going to finish with a little poem about, again, wanting to be someplace else. One of my poetic heroes is Dante Alighieri. Aside from the Divine Comedy, he wrote a lot of wonderful little poems, one of which is his 9th sonnet, which begins something like, Guido, I wish that you and Lapo and I could be transported by a magic spell onto a ship with our 3 girlfriends. Something like that. So this is kind of a takeoff of that. Sonnet is a moment's etc. Laszlo, I wish you and George and I were in that caleche, stalled in traffic. Left McGill's Gate, Place Ville-Marie right. You flying to love in Holland. Straight out upstairs, you hailed the passing empty carriage. We stopped at a dep, George ran in for beer, our cool Quebecois driver declining a draw or drink. Who can say why she took the route she did, knowing you'd lived here 40 years? Just, there we were. Guinness 6-pack shared around, a blue smoke cloud coughing fit, riding high. Our post-Stammtisch triangulation finale, for all rush hour to see, invisible.